Yes, people, what is happening? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing okay. And today we're going to be discussing Euro 2020 and breaking down the competition, going through each and every group, as I say, in Euro 2020 and then predicting a winner. But before we get into all of that good stuff, make sure if you're new here to smash that subscribe button, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can, and tap the notification bell so you do not miss an upload. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So, Euro 2020 or Euro 2021, as I say, is fast approaching us. The competition is 8 days away. And look, I cannot wait. Love a good bit of international football. Not international friendlies, proper international competitions. The World Cup, the Euros, absolutely brilliant. A real fun time, I say, when, you know, fans of loads of different teams, as I say, all come together from the same country to cheer on their team, as I say, to cheer on their country. And look, it's a brilliant time, as I say. And yeah, without further ado, let's break down this year's Euro 2021 or 2020, whatever way you want to go about it, competition. So we'll start things off here with Group A. In Group A, we have Turkey, we have Italy, we have Wales, and we have Switzerland. Turkey could be a massive underdog in this competition. As I say, whoever finishes second in this group has a much easier route, as I say, to the final than other teams. And look, they could definitely be a massive underdog. They got some very good players, a good head coach, as I say. Turkey definitely up there and definitely could win this group even. Then you move on to Italy, right? Strong team, the Italians, you know, brilliant in European competitions, always turn up. They got some very talented players. You know, their qualifying record speaks for itself. 10 out of 10 wins, as I say. Italy, probably the favourites for this group, a very talented side with some talented players. Wales then, Gareth Bale himself, as I say, in this team. He's the captain. They're a team with, you know, lots and lots of experience. I'd say the likes of Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey in there. I do think they got some decent players, and it'll be very interesting to see how they get on in this competition. And then you move on to Switzerland, right? Always a team that many people underestimate, and they always seem to turn up. So this group, in my opinion, Group A, could be very interesting. Now it's time to predict it, right? This one's a tough one, honestly. I know who I'm putting first, and that's Italy, right? Their qualifying record speaks for itself. I'm banking on Italy to finish top of this group. Then you move on to Turkey. Talented players, could be a massive underdog. I'll go with Turkey second, in my opinion. So Italy and Turkey, the two teams certain to go through. Then third place, in my opinion. Oh, this one's actually quite tough, you know. Wales or Switzerland. Now, I'm actually going to go with Wales. I do believe Wales will take that third place, whether that puts them into the round of 16 or not. I don't know. As I say, that all depends on goal difference. So look, Turkey second, as I say, Italy first, Wales third, and Switzerland fourth. This one could be a very interesting group, as I say, and that takes on to Group B. This one is also a very tasty group. I cannot wait to watch this one. As I say, some very entertaining matches, entertaining matchups in this one. As I say, you have Denmark, you have Finland, you have Belgium, and you have Russia, right? This one's going to be very interesting. Denmark, some very talented players, as I say. You know, I really do like Denmark. They're a team that's hard to hate, if we're being real here, as I say. They got Christian Erickson, a Tottenham Hotspur legend, as I say. Brilliant on free kicks. We all know about Christian Erickson, as I say, being that we're on a Spurs channel right now. Absolutely brilliant player. So talented. They got other great players as well. Denmark definitely could make it through this competition. Finland will be a fun team to watch. I think they'll play some entertaining attacking football. No way do I think they'll go through, but it'll be entertaining to see the way that they actually, you know, the way they actually play in this competition. So Finland in there as well. Then the group favourites, definitely one of the favourites, the number one ranked team in the world when it comes to international football right now. It's Belgium. Now Belgium, we all know about Belgium. Roberto Martinez at the helm as the head coach. They got such good players, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku, Eden Hazard, if he can turn up for his country. As I say, they got some very good players. Belgium, probably the favourites for this group. And another team which gets underestimated quite a bit, in my opinion, is Russia. They made it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup in their own country. They got some really talented players. I really do like Russia, a strong defensive side, and definitely underdog in this group. Now, when it comes to predicting the group, I'm going to go with Belgium first, obviously, right? I think Belgium will finish top of this group. They're by far the best team in it. Such good players, a good coach in my opinion. Belgium, top, as I say, of the group. That takes on to second. And look, I really am tied between Denmark and Russia. But I am going to have to go with Russia. I think they've got more experience as of late in European competitions. I do like Russia, as I say. I think they've got some good, talented players. Always an underdog, as I say. And look, Russia to finish second in this group. Then, in my opinion, Denmark third, and then Finland fourth. That's Group B out of the way. That takes us on to Group C. This one could be interesting, as I say. Not the most exciting group when you see it, but definitely can provide some good matchups. You have Holland or the Netherlands. You have Ukraine. You have Austria, and you have North Macedonia, right? Holland, obviously, failing to qualify, as I say, for the World Cup. They haven't been the same Netherlands, you know, as they were years and years ago when when they made it to the semi-finals of the World Cup. They haven't been the same team, in my opinion. Nowhere near as good as players, as I say. But what I think you can expect to see from Holland this year is a sort of a new generation of talent for them. The likes of Ian, Robben, you know, some of their best players have sort of basically aged too much, in my opinion. So it definitely can be exciting to see them, as I say, with some of their younger players, as I say, who can come through. You know, maybe one of them is going to be the next Johan Cruyff or Ruud Gullit. We don't know yet, but we are set to find out, as I say, this summer. So look, Holland, probably the favourites of this group because of the other teams. Ukraine, you never know with teams like this, as I say, you know, qualifying for the Euros, fair play to them. They could do well, or they could really slip up. That takes on to Austria. They have some very, very good players. I'm watching England play them last night as well. They're not an easy team to beat. They really do make it hard for you. They've got a strong defence, as I say. They're really compact. Marcel Sabitzer, as I say, a brilliant player. David Alaba, as I say, they've got a really, really good squad. They've got a really, really good squad. And look, they'll probably be one of the favourites to get out of this group. And then North Macedonia, fair play to them qualifying their first ever Euros, as I say. And look, there's no two ways about it. I do not think they will make it through. Please prove me wrong, North Macedonia. But that is Group C broken down. When it comes to predicting Group C, I'm going to go with Holland first. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to go with Austria first, right? I am going to go with Austria first. I think they got some talented players, really compact in the group they're in. I'm going to put Austria to win that group. Then I'm going to put Netherlands, as I say, to go through second. I don't think it'll be that hard for them, beating North Macedonia and Ukraine. Then I'm going to put Ukraine third and then North Macedonia fourth. Please prove me wrong, North Macedonia, as I say. If North Macedonia win the Euros, I will get a tattoo, right? I will get a tattoo. I don't even know if I'm legal at this age, but I will get a tattoo of North Macedonia, as I say, and their flag on my right leg. Bank on it now, because, you know, please prove me wrong, North Macedonia. But fair play for qualifying, as I say. Quite an interesting group there. Then we get to some of the best groups, as I say. This is definitely, in my opinion, up there for the best group, along with Group F, which we'll get to soon. Group D, my country, England, as I say. If you didn't know, I am, you know, I've got Irish in me and English in me. I'm half Irish, half English. And we all know how Ireland's qualifying campaign went for this. So we have England, we have Croatia, we have Scotland, and we have Czech Republic. What an interesting group this is. England, right? This is a new set of generational talent. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, you know, so many talented players. But will they get it done with a defensive coach such as Gareth Southgate? We will wait to find out. But, you know, coming from someone who supports England, obviously, and is from England, I look at England and I think if we had an attacking manager, someone like Bielsa even managing England, I would bank on us to win the Euros, but it's because we have a defensive coach, in my opinion. And look, with a defensive coach with a bunch of young players who just want to attack, it does not work. You look at the players in there, Phil Foden, Declan Rice, Jack Grealish, you know, Bukayo Saka, as much as I hate him for being an Arsenal player, we'll cheer him on all day long. For England, Marcus Rashford, the goal scorer himself, Harry Kane, the man himself. As I say, so many young, exciting players. You can go on forever, let's be realistic here. So many. Jesse Lingard, if he comes in because of Trent's injury, as I say. You know, when it comes to defenders, Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, Kyle Walker, Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw, really strong side. But the issue is the defensive coaching, in my opinion. So, as I say, we'll predict them in a minute. Croatia, World Cup finalists that I think no one really expected. The team that knocked England out of the World Cup. As I say, they've got some very talented players. But those players, let's be realistic here, are aging, the likes of Luka Modric and Rakitic, as I say. But look, they have got some very, very talented players. Perisic, Modric, Rakitic. As I say, they play a really, really attacking style of play. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. That takes on to Scotland. As I say, they got a couple decent players, and fair play to them. You know, they're sort of picking up when it comes to qualifying for European competitions. So Scotland in there as well, and then Czech Republic. Another team that gets overlooked, in my opinion. You look at some of their players. Souček, as I say, Kufal, two of West Ham's best players. They got some very, very good players. Now for predicting this, as I say, it's a tough group. It's a real tough group to predict. Now I'm gonna go with England first. I predict England to top this group and win it. Right? Although we have a defensive coach, I think the players are absolutely brilliant. Croatia second, Czech Republic third, Scotland fourth. You know, all four teams are quite good though, so I am looking forward to watching some of those matchups in that group. The likes of Croatia versus England, and England, you know, Scotland. That'll be an interesting one. In Czech Republic, Croatia. There's some good games in there. And yeah, Group D, a very, very interesting one. That takes on to Group E, another interesting one. We have Spain, we have Sweden. Sweden, as I say, we have Poland, and we have Slovakia. Another very, very interesting group, as I say, Spain. Regulon, as I say, could he win the Euros? As I say, it'd be brilliant for him as well. You know, a couple Spurs players who are from Spain as well. Then you got Sweden, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. As I say, they got some very, very talented players in Sweden as well. They're definitely an underdog for this competition, but a team that could turn up really, really well. Poland, probably the best striker in the world, plays for them, as I say, who's breaking records day in, day out like it's no one's business. Robert Lewandowski for Poland, as I say. And then you got Slovakia, Hamšík. That's about all they really got. Let's be realistic. They're not a very good side. So, let's predict this group, right? I'm going to go with... it's a tough one because Sweden, right? You look at a team like Sweden and everything tells you, you know, they're going to get knocked out. But they made it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup, let alone the Euros. So they could actually be an underdog in this. And they definitely got the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic anyway. And, you know, really, really good strikers such as Isaac, as I say. They've got some good players. So I'm going to go Spain first. Oh, it's a tough one. Sweden or Poland? You know what? I'm going to go with Sweden. I'm going to go with Spain and Sweden to go through. Poland third and Slovakia third. I do bank on Sweden going through. And that takes on to what I would say is the group of death. The most exciting group. We've got Hungary. Right, let's break this group down. We've got Hungary, Portugal, France, Germany. Hungary, right? They are hungry for some silverware because they haven't won anything for a long, long time. They've got some good players. Dominic Szoboszlai, former Tottenham Hotspur target. As I say, he's a very, very talented player. They play a good style of football. Fair play to them. This is where it starts getting interesting because one of these teams is going to finish third. Now, I really don't know who. Portugal. Solid rock defence. Ruben Diaz, an absolute defensive rock. Pepe brings the experience to the table, as I say. Bruno Fernandes in midfield, an absolute class player. You know, he can take set pieces. He's brilliant. Speaking of set pieces, how can I forget one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, one of the best players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Could possibly be one of his last European competitions, probably his last ever Euros, as I say, this summer. You look at some of their players as well, you know, they've got such a good team. João Felix. You know, everything tells me Portugal are going to make it through. But it's the other two teams. It's France, the World Cup winners, right? The best team, in my opinion. You can say Belgium are number one ranked. They're not. France are all-round brilliant. Defensively fantastic. Midfield, people who can hold it up, such as Pogba. You got attacking players. And then a front three of Karim Benzema, Kylian Mbappe, and Griezmann. My goodness, that's going to rip team to shreds. Benzema, who's really stepped up, a proper goal scorer. Mbappe, the best player in the world right now, in my opinion, along with Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, obviously Ronaldo and Messi. And then Antoine Griezmann, who always turns up for his country. Pogba in midfield. And Ndombele as well. Come on, Ndombele, man. Look, this one's going to be very, very interesting, right? Who can forget the Germans, though? Who can forget Germany? People say they're going through a transitional period right now where they're changing around. They always, and I mean always, turn up for European competitions. Joachim Low, his last, pretty much tournament, as I say, is his last bunch of games as German manager. He won't want to go out in the group stage. He'll probably want to go out with a championship in the final, as I say. That's the way Germany want to roll this summer. So look, this is so interesting. Germany as well, they have the experience. They got the young players, as I say. Will Timo Werner turn up for Germany this summer, or will he be like he has for Chelsea a lot? And that's very, very sloppy. They've got Werner, obviously, though. They've got some very, very talented players. And much more experience than a lot of other teams in this group, as I say. The likes of Toni Kroos in there. He knows how to go out and get it done. Manuel Neuer, as I say. So look, this is a brilliant group. I'm going to go with France to win it. I think they will win it. I think they're the best team internationally. And then it's between Portugal and Germany. And I am going to have to go with Portugal. I'm going to go with Portugal. I think Portugal will make it through. I think Germany will finish third and Hungary fourth. Poor Hungary. Hopefully they get an actual result out of this competition. But look, fair play to them. A very, very interesting group. I cannot wait to see some of the games in there. Now, predicting the winner of Euro 2021 or 2020, whatever way you want to pronounce it, right? You have Italy. And now I'll go through the candidates, in my opinion, the teams that can definitely win it. Italy, right? I'll go with Italy. I'll pick one team out of each group. Italy, Belgium, as I say, maybe Austria. England could definitely go out there and win it. Spain could win it, as I say. And any of those three, Portugal, France or Germany, could win it. I'm going to narrow it down to two. I think it's going to be one of the two teams from Group F. I think the final will be France versus Portugal. And I'm going to predict France to win Euro 2021. Now, I know it's pretty, it is the prediction that a lot of people actually, see coming and everything. But they're so good. They're such a good side. Such a brilliant side. I'm going to predict them to win it, as I say, and it be that sweet revenge from Euro 2016. I say when Portugal had their magical moment, France won the World Cup, and now you imagine if they can win the Euros and then the World Cup next year, they would be the best international side of all time. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have broken down every single group from Euro 2020. Will any Tottenham Hotspur players become as I say, European Championship winners? Will any Spurs players win the Euros? We will find out this summer. As I say, thank you all for watching. And as always, come on you Spurs!